Manchester United are so bad, they will never be back at the top. That's not clickbait, that's the truth staring everyone in the face. The question isn't when United return to glory, it's whether they ever can. And the answer is looking uglier by the year. You don't drop this far, this fast, without something being broken at the core. And United's core isn't cracked, it's rotten. We'll go through the numbers, the managers, the transfers, the stadium, the debt, the whole picture, and it all leads to one conclusion. United's days as a true giant are gone. So let's start with the season that finally removed all doubt, 2024-25. The lowest point in United's Premier League history. 15th place, 42 points, minus 10 goal difference. 18 defeats in 38 games. That's not mid-table. That's flirting with relegation. Their worst finish since 1974. And this wasn't some unlucky season with injuries and bad luck. This was fully earned. They were dreadful. They got knocked out of the FA Cup by Fulham on penalties in the 5th round. They made it to a Europa League final only to lose to Tottenham. Think about that. Tottenham, the club United used to mock for bottling finals, are now beating them in Europe. You can't even script it. And this is Manchester United, the same club that under Ferguson won titles for fun. But we all know managers carry the weight, and United have burned through them like matches. Erik ten Hag lasted 9 matches into the season before being fired in October. 9. This is after being handed a shiny new contract extension just months earlier. That sacking cost them another 10 million in compensation. His legacy? Spent over £600 million on transfers, delivered one of the worst United teams ever, and got booted before Halloween. Then came Ruben Amorim. Cost another 11 million to pry him from Sporting. His record? 9 wins in 28 league games. A 31% win rate. The worst of any United manager in the Premier League era. Worse than Moyes. Worse than Rangnick. He averaged 1.16 points per game. At this rate, Amorim isn't steering them back to the top. He's steering them into the Championship. And if you thought 25-26 was the reset, think again. 5 games in, United sit 11th with 7 points. Already beaten by Arsenal. Already beaten by City. Already humiliated in the EFL Cup by Grimsby Town. A League 2 side. Penalties. And before you say cup upsets happen, no, not like this. Not to clubs who claim they're still elite. United are a punchline. Now, let's talk money, because that's supposed to be their trump card. The rich club, the commercial juggernaut, the name that sells shirts in every corner of the world. And yet, record revenues of 666 million last year turned into a 33 million loss. Debt? Over $1 billion, including transfer obligations. 6 straight years of financial losses. 250 staff made redundant in cost cutting. Projected revenue decline this season. The numbers don't scream elite, they scream crisis. And at the centre of all this rot, the Glazers. 2 decades of ownership and a legacy of destruction. Before 2005, United were debt-free. Today they're buried in interest payments, repayments, dividends, 1.2 billion gone to service a debt the club never asked for. Stadium neglected. Roofs leaking, facilities outdated. Plans for a new stadium with a 2 billion price tag? Fantasy. United don't have the money, don't have the stability, don't have the plan. The theatre of dreams is now a symbol of decay. Transfers don't even start. They're top 10 signings since Ferguson, and only Bruno Fernandes counts as a success. Antony, 86 million for 17 goal contributions in 96 games. Paul Pogba, 89 million, left twice on frees. Jadon Sancho, 73 million, permanently stuck on loan. Harry Maguire, 80 million, overpriced from day one. A net spend of minus £1.42 billion since 2013. The highest in world football. And what do they have to show for it? A Europa League, a few domestic cups, and a pile of memes. That's not investment. That's vandalism. The contrast with Ferguson's era is beyond belief. Ferguson lost 114 games in 810 matches. Since his retirement, United have lost 114 in 448. The exact number of defeats in half the games. No league titles in 12 years. 6 managers cycled through. No footballing identity, no culture, the fear factor, gone. Opponents used to dread Old Trafford. Now, they smell blood. And speaking of Old Trafford, let's not pretend this isn't a problem. No major renovations since 2006, leaking roofs, structural cracks, falling behind every modern Premier League stadium. Even mid-table sides have better facilities now. And every time someone asks when the rebuild starts, the answer is silence, or worse, some vague promise of billions that never materialize. A great stadium left to rot while the money goes elsewhere. It's embarrassing. And then there's the relegation talk. Did you ever think you'd live to hear Manchester United's manager openly admit relegation is a possibility? Amorim said it. The statistical models give them a tiny chance, 0.15%, but the fact it's even calculated shows how far they've fallen. This is Manchester United. They should never be mentioned in the same breath as relegation, and yet here we are. So where does that leave the fans? Stuck in limbo, dreaming of the past, choking on the present. Every season starts with fake optimism, every season ends with disappointment. The culture of failure has set in. Players arrive and sink into it. Managers arrive and get chewed up by it. The Glazers cash the checks, and the spiral continues. The Ferguson shadow gets longer, the decline gets steeper, and the top gets further away. Now, let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Why won't United ever be back at the top? Because their problems aren't temporary. They're structural. The owners are a cancer. The finances are bleeding. The recruitment is incompetent. The stadium is decaying. The managers are scapegoats. The players are short-term fixes. There is no foundation to build on. Clubs like City and Arsenal have clear plans, modern systems, recruitment strategies. United are throwing darts at a board with the lights off. And you don't rebuild empires like that. So let's dig deeper into those rivals for context. Arsenal have rebuilt slowly, with patience, adding players like Victor Gyökeres to sharpen their attack. They've created a young squad with a clear system under Arteta. City remain the machine under Guardiola. Even when they wobble, they fix themselves. Liverpool have invested massively, built depth, and already look unstoppable under Slot. Chelsea are stabilising under new management, finally finding an identity. All these clubs are moving forward. United? They're running backwards on a treadmill that's already on fire. Best case scenario, they fight for a Europa League place, sneak into the top 6, maybe win a domestic cup. Worst case, the slide continues, the money dries up, and relegation goes from joke to reality. And don't laugh, giants have fallen before. Leeds, Forest, Aston Villa, all once champions, all dropped. United are not immune. And unlike those clubs, United's financial mess makes recovery even harder. If they fall, the climb back won't take 5 years. It could take 20. And let's not ignore the players. The recruitment disasters aren't just about wasted money. They're about toxic cycles. Players arrive with hype, fail, and leave with reputations shredded. Look at Antony, Sancho, Pogba, Maguire. Even players who succeed individually, like Fernandes, can't lift the team because the environment drags them down. Young players? Stalled. Academy products? Buried. The culture eats them alive. And when fans say sign better players, who's scouting them? Who's developing them? Who's managing them? United have no structure, no plan, it's chaos. So when people say United will be back, ask them how. Show you the path. Who runs the club? Who makes the transfers? Who rebuilds the stadium? Who resets the culture? The answers aren't there. And until they are, this is the reality. United are not sleeping giants. They are fallen giants. The gap to the top isn't closing, it's widening. And the sooner fans accept that, the sooner they'll stop being lied to every summer. And here's the most damning part. United's rivals aren't slowing down. Arsenal's project still has years of growth. City's resources and Guardiola's mind keep them at the peak. Liverpool's rebuild is already ahead of schedule, and they look set for dominance. Even Newcastle and Brighton are showing ambition and planning. Every year United wastes standing still, the others take 2 steps forward. The gap doesn't just remain, it multiplies. And no club can survive like that, no matter their name. Manchester United will never be back at the top. Not with this ownership, not with this debt, not with this incompetence. The fall is complete, and the climb back isn't happening. Not in 5 years, not in 10. Maybe not ever. And that's the brutal truth.